War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the War Report, brought to you by TagMeADate.com.
We have to acknowledge him.
I suppose we do.
This was actually a request from Eddie for last week.
That's right.
So I was going to do it this week, not knowing that he wasn't going to be able to make it. Unfortunately, he's stuck at work. Kat, I don't know. I think she's popping on at some point, so we'll see. But what's up, everybody?
Not much, man. It's Tuesday, ready to talk some wrestling.
I got to tell you got to excuse me. I may not be as animated. I feel a little shitty. I got my booster yesterday.
Oh, okay, yep.
And overall, considering, I'm good. Little headache action that I can't get rid of, and I'm exhausted, like COVID exhausted. But other than that, no fever, none of that nonsense. I know people that were down and out for days. So if this is the worst of it, I'll take it as long as I can get into work tomorrow. I'm good. And I'm definitely good enough to talk about some wrestling, because this is we continue on our road to WrestleMania with the first stop being the Royal Rumble. And it's very exciting. It's always one of my favorites. We all know this. Anyone that listens, we've talked about this. I'm a little pissed off that I'm hearing things prior, and I've addressed my frustration with the lack of element of surprise, which actually continues because of the fucking internet. And I don't know how this shit gets leaked sometimes, but something like the potential return of, is anyone else hear this clicking? Anyone hear that? Maybe it's just me. It's driving me fucking crazy. Anyway, the idea that Ronda Rousey may make her return for the Rumble and have some big things planned for her for WrestleMania, again, is one of those I'd rather just hear the music and
I agree.
you know what I mean? So 100%. that really just sucks. But there are spots both on the men's and women's side available for some holy shit moments if it happens. But currently, the way it is on paper, not overly impressed with either of them, nor do I really know even yet who I'm thinking are going to even be in my final four for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, if Ronda's out there, Ronda should win. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe they'll actually have Charlotte win it, even though she's the champion, because she's Charlotte.
Yeah, true, unless that sets up something even bigger, like Ronda coming and throwing Charlotte over.
Absolutely.
I mean, but see, that's the thing. Like, do we trust the internet? It's a very strong possibility that this is where we see Ronda. Thank you for the update about Kat. We look forward to seeing her when she's done with her client. And thank you for the feel better. I'll be all right. Like I said, if this is the worst of it, I'm good. And yeah, I agree. Leaks sometimes get fucking annoying. And it's not like, well, then don't read the internet. The problem is it's always there, and it's shared by a million fucking people, and a lot of the teaser is already in the headline.
And you
so it's
not looking for it and still come across it.
Right. You know what I mean? So it sucks. But it is what it is. I mean, this is the world of wrestling now.
I got something to say real quick about these rumbles. Now, as far as like them trying to find spots and shit, like there's a lot of open spots. I feel like, and especially with the women's one, they wouldn't have this problem if they hadn't fucking laid off half the damn roster.
Yeah, speaking of,
Well, you know, number one, that's true, and number two, I'm proud of the Iconics
yeah,
because they apparently were offered a return slot in the women's rumble, and they said, "Fuck you." So I'm kind of proud of them for that because
As
they're
they
doing big
should.
things in Impact.
Yeah.
Although to have the Impact Women's Champion and Tag Team Champions, I believe they're still the Tag Team Champions, right? They didn't
Yeah.
lose them. So to have all of them show up, I mean, you know,
Well,
it could be interesting. But
I read that for Mickey James, one of the points for her to actually be in it and come back was for her to be able to carry that her Impact Women's Championship as she comes out.
yeah,
So-
I heard that too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they're pulling from the outside, they don't have much to bargain with. You know, they have money, and then things like that coming out with the
Well,
belt.
we've
Which,
got, like we just talked about Ronda, but there's a possibility of like Bailey coming back or
Yes.
someone like Asuka or
yep, Asuka apparently
So
is clear.
there's definitely key players that could potentially be involved.
Yeah, but with only, I want to say they've announced 21 or 22 of the women. So there's
Yeah,
only a
something
few
like that.
slots for surprises now, like legitimate surprises. Ooh, bold prediction in the comments that Bailey is going to win the Rumble.
That is a very bold prediction. I mean, listen, it's very possible. But I really do think, you know, if Ronda is in it, there's a very 99% chance that she's the one that's winning. I mean, the nice thing about the Rumble is that we can sit here and say that, but a screw job is a screw job can always happen in a Rumble. You know what I mean? Where you can get away with everything, or bring back the both sets of feet hit the floor at the same time controversy, or like you can get creative with it, even if you're redoing something from years ago. I think it was the first time, I think, if I remember correctly, Eric, you'll be the one, but I think it was Luger and Bret Hart.
Yes.
Right. And they both landed, and it was done so well because it really was on the spot.
Yeah.
Nobody
Now
else
they
hears
have-
this clicking.
I just heard it.
I just heard it too.
What
I
the
heard it.
fuck? It's driving me nuts, and I don't know what it is.
But
Hey, Kat, welcome to the show.
Hi, sorry I was late.
to your point, they did revisit it with the Batista John Cena thing, and that, of course, is when Vince McMahon tore both his quads.
Yeah, that was the craziest moment of any Rumble. Vince storming out there and immediately tearing both of his quads, and then sitting there, looking at somebody going, "Pick me up, damn it!" And he's like, "Oh
Yeah,
man,
he was.
I don't know how he
Had
walked
nothing
back."
after that.
I don't know who's going to address that.
Yeah, who the?
Who's sexy? Which one of us?
I did. I'm intrigued. Hang on.
Now we
Well,
gotta go to the
I think there's only one person on here with a husband.
You never know nowadays.
That's
I'm saying
true.
on our show.
I'm thinking it's actually her husband. I just think it's Justin that commented that.
Oh my God, it's still fucking Justin.
I called it.
Pretty sure it's
You know how I said last night, Justin, you've been really good that you haven't been sleeping on the couch for a while? Guess what?
Oh,
Womp
damn.
womp.
Yeah, this Royal Rumble thing is kind of bumming me out, though, dude. Like, Survivor Series, I always looked forward to, and they've over the last last couple of years they killed Survivor Series, and now they've just about killed the Royal Rumble.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you. So I am very good at, like, if I'm going to do something with my wife or, any kind of planned activity or whatever, a lot of times if it's around the time of a pay-per-view, I'll kind of set things up, especially if it's a pay-per-view I really like. The Rumble is one thing you really want to watch on time because, and because you literally have to turn off your phone if you don't want to know what happened until you're going to watch it, because you're going to see something. So, months ago, it never dawned on me that the fucking Rumble would be on a Saturday.
Oh yeah, they changed that now. So the Royal Rumble's on Saturday.
What do you have planned for Saturday?
I'm going to see Tracy Morgan.
Oh.
And
That'll be way
it's
more fun than the Royal
Stacy and I and a couple other couples that we're friends with that we usually go with, and it never fucking done them. And I am so angry because I really I've seen Tracy a few times already. Like, for me, it's no big deal. But it is a night out, and Stacy would fucking kill me if I backed out for the Rumble, right? So I'm so fucking pissed. So I am going to do my best to turn my phone off and be invisible to the world until Sunday morning. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to watch it first thing.
And we won't.
Note to
I
self,
promise
then,
we
guys,
won't-
we need to use the other chat that Tara's in
Yeah.
then
I
on
know,
Saturday night.
Yeah, we need
I'm-
to.
Oh, no,
I-
you're in that
I'm
one
in
too.
that.
Fuck.
I
we need
can.
that one
What
too.
I'll do is I'll mute both of them for
Yeah.
a full day.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I'm done with the Rumble, I'll put it on. But I'm going to get up. I told Stacy I'm not going anywhere food shopping, nothing until I watch the Rumble, and then So I will not be watching football, which pains me right now, but it is what it is. No matter how excited I am or not, it's still one of my favorites. There is still something that's going to happen because it's the Rumble, right? Like, something has to happen.
Right.
Just because it
hope
doesn't
so,
look good
but-
on paper doesn't mean it won't be good.
There's still
It's true.
There's
10, 12 slots for the guy. That's Justin. There's
I know it's Justin. You fucking asshole.
I'll find something to hit him with in a few minutes, phone, whatever. But there's still 12 slots for the women, and there's still 10 slots for the guys that are still supposed to be that surprise factor.
Well, I don't think all of them are going to be a surprise.
No,
I mean, it's going to be like some NXT. I mean, listen, I shouldn't say that. There's strong rumors that Breaker is going to be in the Rumble. Corey Graves. I mean, obviously, if they're making such a big deal that he got cleared, that's inevitable. Which
backstage on SmackDown, we saw it. I think it was SmackDown, or maybe it was Raw. LA Knight and Roderick Strong were shown.
That was last night at Raw, yeah.
Okay, it was last night.
And they're both on main events. They did the tapings before Raw for main event.
Yeah, then there's a possibility about Ciampa or
But today the Ronda Rousey rumors came out.
Yeah, the Ronda Rousey rumor got really that took off. Like, I saw one post about it, and then I saw a million.
Well,
posts about it.
it's amazing because the first thing I saw was earlier on in the day, and it was something along the lines like WWE's in strong talks with Ronda to come back for the Rumble, or something like that. Within 45 minutes to an hour, the next one I saw was Ronda Rousey will be back for the Rumble, and there's huge plans for her for WrestleMania. So who the fuck knows, right? It's the internet. People want clicks.
We have to take everything as rumors until it happens.
Correct.
Sure.
Right.
Which is why there still is a little bit of element to that one, unless the WWE finally says, all right, the shit's out of the bag already. Ronda Rousey, I want to sell buys, so, fuck
Remember
you.
that year that it was spoiled that Batista was coming back?
But you know
Yeah,
what?
I do.
That was the interesting thing, too. I know we posted it in the chat or whatever, but all the surprise women, like Mickie James, the Bellas, the somewhat legend, Summer Rae, whatever.
The Legend Summer.
All right, whoa, stop. Time. She beat me to it. So, first of what in the fuck? What fucking world? What
But he got so pissed he froze.
Oh shit! Oh no!
He yelled
We
his
lost
own
our
internet
brand.
connection out.
Oh no!
Okay, so we could finish this then. I don't think
He's
I've
moved twice
what
as
What
many.
fucking wrestling world are we? Am I back?
Yes.
Fuck, am I back? Okay. What fucking wrestling planet world universe are we fucking living in that this fucking douche canoe is considered a legend? That's what I would like to know. I'm sorry. She was never good in the ring, ever good in the ring. She was hot. Okay. Kudos, right? Fucking, I mean, Kelly could wrestle circles around her. I don't understand.
Ouch.
When was she ever considered a legend? This is what we're what? You're just you're insulting the true legends in this
I'm
business
crying
as far
right
as I'm
now.
concerned.
I think I posted it in one of the things. I said her legendary status was like how many guys she fucked backstage or something, and the notches on her belt. That's legendary.
Okay, I'll
that
accept that.
I didn't know about all that. Did she really?
And then,
I don't know.
Oh.
Do I give a shit if it's true or not?
look at her
I
face,
just know
look
if
at
you
all the
knew something
work
I
she
didn't.
got done. She looks horrible now.
Yeah, the hair color and the Botox has to go.
Well, you can't get rid of Botox, unfortunately.
She shouldn't have gotten it in the first place. She's what, 19?
That's
I'm
funny.
more of a legend than Summer Rae.
It's well. What do you
That is
call?
fantastic.
What do you call like former WWE superstar?
Yes.
I guess that's
Has been.
Exactly.
Has
has
been.
been.
They're
Jeez.
throwing around.
No, I'm not
words
even
like-
saying that. I'll be more political than that. You fucking former WWE superstar.
You just called her a douche canoe. Now you want
Well-
to talk about politically correct?
Oh, all right, fair enough. But Deuce
Can't
Canoe
call
in
it
the
out,
sense of
TV.
being a legend. I mean, come on, really? Lita's a legend. Trish Stratus is a legend. You know, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I could be here for hours, but Summer Rae? What? You might as well call Eva Marie a legend. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I mean, if you're gonna go there, then what's the difference?
Future Hall of Famer Eva Marie.
Bite your fucking tongue.
That'll be the day I never watch the Hall of Fame ceremony ever again.
If Eva Marie's in, I riot. Okay, let's just never happen.
Well, I don't think it could. She only ever wrestled like 5 matches in her entire. Like she was technically employed with them for a very long time, and only wrestled a handful of matches because she couldn't do it.
You know, on
She's-
that
People
note,
try to
you
get
know,
her-
on that note, you know what's hilarious?
Mm.
I just saw a report that Brian Kendrick has asked for his release.
Yep,
I totally forgot he was still fucking employed, quite honestly. I had no idea. I figured he was gone. I had no.
Yeah, he was in. He was at the Performance Center.
Like I haven't seen him since 205.
Yeah, I
Yeah, they
brought
put
up
him on occasionally.
He got attacked by Parker Bordeaux or Harlan, whatever the fuck his name is now, on NXT, and led
I
to
can't
a
even
nothing
watch
match, and then
NXT
that was
anymore.
it.
You know that they have Gable Stevenson's brother. We didn't see her Twitter response.
I did. I did.
Oh.
She basically said that she didn't choose to be called a legend. The
Oh.
WWE called her a legend. So if
Yeah.
they
That's
They-
on them then. But still, yeah. I mean, come
All
on,
right, fair
guys.
enough,
Let's
but
think
still.
about it.
She's got to be smart enough to know that no wrestling fan is going to consider her a legend. What the fuck did she ever
Or-
bring to the
Or
table?
Emerald Bull, for that matter.
shaking her ass with Fandango,
Yeah,
Or Funding
I
Bat,
don't know
whatever
how many- I
Chris
don't know how many
Jericho called them.
classic matches she had.
did she even have any matches?
And she only got that because Eva Marie lied that she could dance.
Yep. Because Eva Marie
That
lied.
was on Total Divas, like the first
Eva Marie
episode or
is
something.
severely uncoordinated. She can't dance. She can't wrestle. I'm
can't
surprised she can walk and chew gum at the same time.
I don't think she could even. She just got a movie too. She just literally got cast in a movie this week.
On Pornhub or where?
No, it was.
Like a real movie.
Yeah, it was
She's
on.
not sucking
Face-
anybody's pee-pee.
It
Oh.
was on Facebook. I saw it. Like Eva. It's Eva Marie.
Is it going to be straight to streaming or is it going to be an
Yeah, it's gonna
actual
be
like in the
Amazon
theater
Prime
movie?
special,
Right.
rented for $1.99.
Yes. Hang on.
So
I'm not as
how
fast as
silly-
Ryan.
As you're searching, it's so silly. They took this Parker Boudreaux, who people knew his real name because he's like a legit wrestler and all that, and he's supposed to be the next Brock Lesnar. It looks like a mini Brock Lesnar.
They changed his look though.
They changed his look. They changed his name. They have Gable. I was saying this earlier. They have Gable Stevenson's younger brother, and they changed his name. And then when they were talking about him on NXT a couple weeks ago, they said, "Oh, he comes from the University of Minnesota, where the likes of Brock Lesnar and Gable Stevenson wrestled." And it's like, but they don't mention that Gable Stevenson's his fucking brother. And then they took one girl who was on the
so
U.S.
weird.
Olympic team.
That
The
is
girl on the
weird.
U.S. Olympic team, they changed her name. The girl from the WNBA, they changed her name. They were already athletes out there perform like. But again, they need to trademark and
Yeah, not to
brand.
mention the artist formerly known as Walter.
Yes, so I also put out a video on my own personal YouTube at OSnapVince. You go check it out. Did some searching through the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Walter's name was changed because the WWE only had a trademark for the name Walter for wrestling performances on television and streaming on the internet. The person who has the rights to merchandise the name Walter is Jeff Dunham, the comedian ventriloquist, because Walter is the name of one of his puppets. And he's had that trademark since 2008, which means that WWE couldn't trademark the name Walter to sell merchandise with. So they had to change his name to something else.
Name then.
Yeah, they could have just added his own
Walter's
list.
real first name is Walter.
Yes. Yeah. So they could have trademarked his own name. Instead,
But they only like one name things.
Yes, Cesaro, Ali, everybody who loses their name. Rusev. A lot of guys lost a name. Just a dumb decision. I saw the thing on the bottom there, Steve. Go ahead and set it up, and we'll start talking. No, all right. I see on the bottom thing here, SmackDown.
Anything we really want to discuss on SmackDown? I mean, SmackDown, I think, was so Raw for whatever fucking reason decided it wasn't going to record. I don't know why. So I found
because your recorder knew it was a piece of shit.
Possible, but I did see highlight clips on YouTube. So the stuff I did see, fucking Matt Riddle had the line of the night.
Yes,
that was fantastic. That whole segment, and then the actual match was great.
Yes.
I thought that was good. Alexa Bliss's. Everyone's kind of thinking she's going back to the old persona. She's kind of hinting that she's not. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with her character. But
WWE did trademark the goddess this week.
Yes, but that could also be just for merchandising.
True.
But who knows? But I do think we're going to get her return at the Rumble for sure.
Absolutely.
So now that we've had so many years of speculating as to who's going to be Sister Abigail, and it kind of sort of turned out to be Alexa, now are we going to speculate who's going to turn out to be Lily, and who they're going to put in a giant doll costume to wrestle as a life-size version of Lily?
Oh, God. Is Bertha Faye dead?
Oh, no. Wow.
Yes,
That's the first place you go. Speaking of, I saw something online from Jim Valley from Figure 4 Weekly. He says something along the lines of the Royal Rumble this year is so lackluster for the women, the Spider Lady should win it and then unmask herself and show that it's actually Wendy Richter.
Oh, God. I haven't heard that in forever.
Honestly, I'd be okay with Wendy Richter winning this Royal Rumble. I'd pop for it.
Who wouldn't?
She might be 65 years old at this point.
I'll tell you right now, you know who will be a real big pop for me if it actually happens, and who knows how realistic it is, because it really depends on who you listen to, even if you hear it from this specific person, but it also could be to throw people off. But if Paige made a return at the Rumble, that would be, roof fly off the building. And she's even acknowledged, I think in some tweets, she said, it's so nice to know that people still want me to return after all this time, kind of thing. So you can't tell me she's not sitting there getting the itch, and then seeing guys like Edge and seeing, people,
Edge and Daniel Bryan, and all
right,
those guys
and to come back from these, So who
Corey
knows? Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so
Graves comes back. Jeez.
that could be, roof come off the building type shit, for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and that would be a great comeback. Even this week too, somebody was ranking on AJ Lee on Twitter, and Paige was the first person to jump in there and jump all over that. Like, you have no idea what she did for this business, and if you don't know it, then you're not a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Amen.
I love that chick.
Yeah, that's listen, people always gonna say something,
Of course,
but
we wouldn't have a podcast otherwise.
that's good. Absolutely, that's so true. Anything specifically else with SmackDown?
What happened on SmackDown?
Pat
McAfee, stupendous.
Oh, that was so fucking funny. That was great. You want to
an almanac next week?
What?
He's dead. Michael Cole's like, "Are you coming with the Farmer's Almanac next week?" He's like, "Absolutely."
Yeah, and
genius.
then I was just going to say I really want Paige back. Yeah, we would all like to see Paige come back.
That would be so cool.
It would be amazing. They continued the whole Aaliyah Natalia thing. I will say one thing that I really hate is the fact that, did you guys catch the promo she did backstage? She didn't even try to hide. No, Aaliyah. She didn't even try to hide the fact that she was straight reading the script. Like it was so bad.
So she learned nothing in NXT then?
I was just gonna say, how long has she been in developmental for, man?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like something like that.
NXT lets you be more on the fly, or at least Hunter let them be more on the fly to develop themselves. Then what happens? I mean, we saw it happen with Roman Reigns for how long?
Yeah.
That it was just,
I mean,
look,
they're praising Shawn Michaels for his involvement with NXT 2.0, but really, how much influence did he really have? With Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon himself, and all that.
Yeah, I don't know. The Viking Raiders, Los Lotharios, that was another one. That was a good match. Like SmackDown had some good matches. They had some good segments. And of course, it's still only 2 hours. They continued the whole Naomi Charlotte thing. So now they set up a match finally between Nikki and Sonya Deville. So it looks like Sonya Deville is going to wind up going back to getting back to the ring, which, not for nothing, it could lead to Paige coming back, because Paige started teasing too. She said something like she was, the better general manager, and like she'd be open to taking that role again. So she could be teasing that too. There's a lot of what ifs.
And what was that faction she was with them? Absolution?
Yep.
Because it was Paige, Sonya, and Mandy Rose.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then they're continuing the Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn segments, which are great because they're funny as hell. Sami Zayn is so good, and Johnny Knoxville's really into it. He was actually interviewed on Howard Stern today.
Oh,
and he was promoting the new Jackass, but he was also promoting the fact that he's gonna kick everyone's ass and he's gonna be tossing bodies into the fifth row at the Royal Rumble. And he got Howard all into it, and they talked a little bit about. He went transitioned into full kind of like promo, and he started shitting on Zayn and Austin Theory, and yeah, so. It's cool to see, like he's definitely a fan, and he's into it, which is cool. He said that they were only scheduled to come and do that backstage promotion for Jackass, and then one of the head writers pulled Johnny aside and said, "Hey, you want to go try and win the Royal Rumble?" And Johnny was like, "Seriously?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, are you interested?" And here we are. So he said he's having the time of his life. Like he's just all into it.
Turn that down.
But I could still do without
and
it.
I get why it's happening, but yeah, it's a spot.
It's like the Drew Carey thing.
It's better than Drew Carey. It's better than Drew Carey. It's better than Drew Rose. I mean, at least
because he's actually going to do something.
Right.
You know what? I just thought of something. Like they could involve some of the other Jackass castmates and do something with like R-Truth or whoever's the 24/7 champion could come into it in the middle of it and do a little thing, and then
And then like Wee Man can be the 24/7 champ.
And
Yeah.
they can catch him so his feet doesn't touch the bottom rope
No,
either.
no,
He can have his Kofi Kingston moment.
So then Johnny Knoxville eliminates Sami Zayn due to the distraction or something like that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Either Sammy's going to eliminate Johnny or Johnny's going to eliminate Sammy. And there's going to be, some sort of there's going to be time set aside for them to have a moment where everybody else is kind of knocked down or eliminated or whatever, and it's just going to be them in the ring, and we'll see.
They're going to eliminate each other.
Yeah,
they're both going over the rope at the same
like a
time.
Double, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But will there be a Jackass style stunt involved?
There better be.
Will somebody get like tasered or hitting the balls or like? Eric, we can't hear you at all, dude.
Oh. Still can't hear me?
Now we
can
can
hear you. I think you were resting the phone like on
I
something.
I think I had my thumb on the microphone.
Okay. So what were you saying?
I mean, look, they could have all the Jackass guys like come and team up on Sammy or something, like some kind of segment like that,
That would be fun.
And by the way, we also cannot forget, we also did have Double J make a cameo on SmackDown this week. He's been around because he did that, but he just wrestled in the GSW, I think.
He wrestled on Sunday.
Yeah,
on a pay-per-view against Effie. It was okay.
I only saw the clip where he cracked the guy in the head with a guitar and then gave him a. That was cool. It was a hard shot.
And it looked like when the guy Effie that got hit with the stroke with the guitar around his neck, when he came up from it, it looked like either the guitar shot or taking that front face bump with the guitar around his neck broke his nose.
Did he legit is that a shoot?
Yeah.
Did he legit broke his nose?
No, that was broken.
Broke his nose. Yeah.
Wow.
It was all because it's not they were even talking about it. GCW does a lot of deathmatch stuff and a lot of hardcore stuff, and they had to tone it way down.
Aren't they doing Moxley versus Homicide?
Yep, Moxley versus Homicide, and they had a really good match. Those two guys. So I mean,
wait, hold on. You got cut off. Why did oh shit! Now I lost it.
There's less blood and stuff. They wouldn't be doing all the. They wouldn't.
No, but why did they have to tone what down?
They usually do like people getting hit with like light tubes or get bleeding or going through all the violent stuff. And I guess from what I heard, if they're in New York City, they've been cracking down on. I guess violent.
The content.
I don't know if it's specifically wrestling or what, but like there was, they're by broadcasting in New York out of New York City, there were certain rules that they had to abide by, and like, I guess one of them was to tell they couldn't do like, for lack of a better term, like physical mutilation, like cutting yourselves or having somebody get hit with a fluorescent light tube or something like that. So that stuff was specific, even though most of their shows have at least one death match on them. I would say that this show had none of them. I mean, people were getting put through tables, and they would bring out they get wooden doors that they then use as tables and put people through. So there was still like that kind of stuff, and chairs and people getting whipped with belts, but nobody gigged as far as I could tell. Nobody really bled that much. Which is why that broken nose stood out, because everything.
Well, because I did see a little blood on Jared too as he was walking out of the ring. Nothing crazy, but
nothing crazy. No, because usually in GC, like they even in one of the matches they teased that they had the guy they take those the bamboo skewers that you would make like shish kebabs with, and they stick them in somebody's head and they stick out. Like they take a bunch of them and they stick there, and it's gross. But they were teasing it and then they didn't do it. The lights went out, and Sabu came out and kicked the ass of the guy that was trying to do it. So it was weird. It was a mix of trying to be a GCW show authentically while also acknowledging that they were in New York City and they had to abide by certain rules, and it was their first time on traditional pay-per-view, not just streaming. So they had people like Jeff Jarrett on the show, they had Moxley on the show, they had Ruby Soho on the show. So they were trying to kind of play to the GCW fans while also playing to the people who might not necessarily be GCW fans, who were buying the pay-per-view kind of sight unseen. So it was a weird mix of stuff. It's like this kind of a little more hardcore promotion, and they mixed in a lot more traditional stuff.
But plus, specifically after the 2 ECWs that were at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Oh, those last one night stands? Yeah.
Yeah. They have to be really careful in that building. Like I said, I went to both of those, and I'm never afraid to go to a wrestling event. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever the fuck is going around me and everything.
Yeah.
Scared shitless for the RVD John Cena match.
I bet.
Scared to death. And that happens all the time at, like, I don't know if any of you guys ever actually went to ECW events, so that's what I'm saying. But they're fucked up. And Hammerstein is even more fucked up, because if the things haven't changed, the only thing you smell in that building is weed. Literally.
They did.
Everybody is fucked up in that building, drunk, hot. Look at Steve, like my kind of place. It's like
they did have a
sounds wonderful.
It's fun as all hell, don't get me wrong, but those crowds
they get rowdy.
Really gnarly.
So the whole show was pretty much set up so that the main event was going to be Rollins and Owens versus Usos, and there was a stipulation, and ultimately it finished out where the stipulation is the Usos will be barred from ringside during the title match at the Royal Rumble. But it was also a good match, and it was a great segment. Rollins and Owens play off each other very well.
Yep.
So they're always home run segments. And it's going to be interesting, but I don't know. I'm still very undecided with both title matches, which way they're going to go. Like, does Reigns finally lose to Rollins, or is Brock actually going to lose to Bobby Lashley? I don't see either one of them losing. I don't know. I'm very torn.
Brock, I feel like Brock, and this is not Bobby's fault. This is the fault of whoever's writing these segments. Brock looks like such a bigger superstar than Bobby Lashley.
Brock was amazing on Raw again, by the way. The cowboy hat.
Yeah, he comes out in the cowboy stuff.
I mean, he tips the hat to everybody, and like
that was funny as hell.
It was so funny.
Do you want me to get naked?
Yes.
Oh, he's so good.
And Bobby Who, that was a fan. I don't know where this Brock was that didn't talk for the past 20 years.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to Pedikin on Twitch, now following us. Appreciate the support. So it's going to be interesting. I don't fucking know. I have no fucking idea which way to go with this one. I really don't. I'm torn.
The weird thing with the Seth Rollins Roman Reigns match, because Seth was supposed to win that day one fatal 4-way. So if Seth was supposed to win that, and we obviously don't know what was supposed to happen in the Brock Roman Reigns match, but the fact that he was supposed to win the title 3 weeks ago, does that mean that they're still continuing with his push for him to take it out?
All I know is they're still trying to set up Reigns Brock for WrestleMania. So it's either going to be title for title, or it's going to be one of them going after one of them being champion.
Or no titles at all.
Nah, the title's involved.
Then I see Roman losing.
Here's the thing. Like, let's say it's title for title, but they're both champions. Then what is it going to be? Triple threat with the Rumble winner against them, kind of like they did with
oh God, no, Becky? Not another fucking triple threat match.
Oh, I don't know, dude. Yeah,
that's a good point, though.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered something. If you listen to Rollins' promo, he name dropped Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he
Like
did.
he didn't say Dean Ambrose. He said Mox.
He said Mox.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still think there's a chance that he's going to show up in the Rumble.
I agree.
Has it died down with the whole Cody Rhodes talk, or is that still?
I think
He kind of broke that whole thing with what he did on Wednesday night when he came back last week at AEW, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too.
He closed the forbidden door.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. Isn't he facing? I think either Dynamite or Rampage. He's him and
The Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. Yeah, it's
tomorrow.
at the beach.
That's
Yeah.
tomorrow.
To unify
That's
the
right.
the title and then that
Yep.
ladder match or something.
I guess we'll see. Yeah, that's another.
That's going to be one hell of a ladder match.
Yeah, and the other thing I was thinking about Mox is he just came back out and re-debuted on Wednesday on Dynamite. So I don't mean it would be really strange for him to just make his comeback on Dynamite and then like a week and
Can
a
we
half
at least just
later
get one thing out of the way that John Moxley does not fucking owe anybody apologies, no matter what Bubba Ray Dudley says.
What in the fuck was that about?
What the hell was that shit?
If you don't know, Bully Ray got on the Sirius XM radio show that he's on, and
Busted open.
Yeah, he really just says things just to say them, just to like get heat or be a heel, even though it's not going to sell any tickets, and he's not really working for anybody right now. So he's not really being a heel. He's just saying shitty things about people for no reason because there's no payoff, and it's not like he's going to have a match with Mox. But basically saying that Moxley's first thing should have been apologizing to fans publicly when he came back and made his return speech there on Dynamite last week. He doesn't owe anybody any explanation. He took time off from his job, which he's legally entitled to do, to take care of a medical condition, which is nobody's business, and he came back when he was ready, and now he's back. I don't need him to apologize to me. He didn't like slap my mama. He didn't like get in a car accident with me and rear end my car. He had a problem, and he went and it's a medical issue.
And he owned up to it, and he's dealing with it.
So no, there was no apology necessary. And to even say that Paige came back and said, clap back at him. Renee is still mad. There's a lot of people. Mick Foley called him out. A lot of people called him out. So I don't think he's going to learn from it. If anything, he's just going to double down on it because it got him some attention. But like, it's a really shitty thing to say about somebody who just literally came back from a life-altering or life-threatening condition. If you see, just look at how good Moxley looked on Wednesday compared to how, like, he was all red and puffy and was getting out of breath beforehand, and he came back looking years younger. Like, he saved his own life. So I don't need to hear about, he should apologize. He doesn't need to apologize to anybody. That's bullshit.
He is no good to us if he's not healthy.
Yeah, right. And he's no good to us dead either, man.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just bullshit. The guy got help. He doesn't owe anybody anything. The fact is, he got the help he needed. He recognized he needed it. He looks better than ever.
Yep.
And it's better for him. It's better for his wife, and it's better for his newborn. So I give him all the credit in the world.
It's very Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, except Moxley was actually good before he went to rehab. Like nobody gave a shit about Robert Downey Jr. before he went to rehab.
They try to make me go to rehab.
Fair enough. He wasn't really good till Iron Man, MCU and shit.
Playing an alcoholic. Who knew?
So we're getting down to the top of the hour. We do have Raw.
Yeah.
We had the weigh-in. It was hilarious, but it was a waste of time. Bianca Belair, Queen Zelina. How was it? Anything worth anything we should talk about?
It was more than 2 minutes, so the women got a decent amount of time on TV for a change.
Bianca usually gets her time.
It was good. It made Zelina actually look. I mean, Zelina's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but it made her look good, even taking the loss. They worked well together in the ring.
And how that sign got in view on camera, I'll never know.
What are the signs say?
The sign said like someone wanted to use her. They wanted his face to be at her throne or something.
Oh yes, yeah. Wouldn't it be funny if it was Malachi Black holding the sign?
Yeah.
It's like that's my woman. Yeah, dude, that was a very non PG sign that made it to live TV.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
But
so
the Queen thing. What is the Queen thing doing anything for her? Like, is it anything different now that she's the Queen of the Ring aside from the fact she's playing the Queen? Like, she's
doing it well.
She's throwing an accent on everyone.
But the mix between the Spanish accent and the British accent when she gets all pissed off, but then she talks.
It's great.
It's freaking fantastic. I love it.
Good to hear.
Yeah,
kind of like me from my work voice to my real voice.
It's like a King Booker thing with
right,
the realism of it.
Yeah, but there's just no hail King Booker.
And then
now I want to ask you guys. Go ahead, Eric. Eric, go ahead.
I was going to say, like with the Rumble, you can't rule out someone like Bianca Belair.
Yes, no, you absolutely can't rule her out. She could definitely be a 2-time. Without question, but absolutely. I think again, if Ronda's in there, I think it's a pretty strong, possibility it's going to be
Ronda Rousey and have her just get eliminated.
Right.
Oops,
and then there's the possibility of the building up to a Lita Charlotte thing, and
Yeah. So listen, I wanted to ask you guys too, because whoever did watch Damian Priest, Kevin Owens for the U.S. title, that had to have been a great match.
It was.
That was a good match.
That was definitely a good match.
Damian Priest went over, I assume, because I didn't hear he lost. Okay, good. Mm-hmm. And then Rhea Ripley, Dana Brooke, and Liv Morgan versus Nikki, Tamina, and Carmella.
That sounds like match of the night right there.
I was just gonna say, did I miss the greatest match ever or what?
Bathroom break.
Wasn't that Edge Randy Orton?
That's right. This is second best.
No, sorry. Highlight of the night was Maurice's birthday bash. Sorry.
Yeah,
that was the main event segment.
It was fantastic.
That was great. Everything about it was great. I
did a freaking 3D with Edge. Hello.
What's with everybody doing a 3D lately?
Yeah. I don't know, but I freaking loved it.
I mean, listen, it was great. I'm just, but that was great.
That's the second time, yeah.
That was definitely a great segment. AJ Styles off.
That was a great match. Did we lose him again?
I think we did.
I think he unplugged his cord again. Hopefully he didn't break any.
It's been that terrible. I did not unplug my cord. It's my fucking Wi-Fi. I was gonna say everything that I'm saying, we're all saying where it's good matches and good segments. So Raw couldn't have been that terrible. Street Profits, Mysterios. How was that one?
The match was okay.
What happened afterwards?
Them all trying to eliminate each other afterwards was hilarious.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Because then the Dirty Dogs came out, and then they Rey Mysterio was teaming with Montez, and Dominic was teaming with Angelo to throw the Dirty Dogs out of the ring.
Gotcha. All right, yeah. So I mean, but it's like,
but they're teasing Rey and Dominic having problems about this Royal Rumble thing.
Well, everything that I'm hearing is that they want, and when I say they, Dominic and Rey are really petitioning to have father-son match at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Which we all knew this was going to happen.
It was
but
funny between them, yeah.
If they do it in a way where it's not like I hate you, Dad kind of thing, and just like give me the torch kind of deal, I'm kind of cool with that. Because those two will put on a match, I'm sure, because father and son, they're going to have this whole match figured out months before, and it's going to be spectacular.
I found your child, Dad. Eddie really was my dad, and that's why I turned on you.
Oh God, don't do that.
He's wearing an I'm Your Poppy t-shirt.
Okay, come on, that would be funny.
This is something Kat and I thought of, mostly Kat, but I stole it. Are
What else is
Ed
new?
and Beth going to come up through the fire as their entrance?
Yes.
Like
I think there's a
Phoenix
very strong
rising
possibility
through
that that's
flames.
going to happen.
I mean, that would be so badass.
I freaking love this version of Beth. I really do.
I'm telling you, straight out of Asgard. She's
What was her
badass.
reason for retiring? Was it to have kids and start a
Yes.
family?
Yeah, it was to have kids and
I
everything.
appreciate that, but also, I mean, I feel like she could have done both, right?
She could have, but she just decided
chose
that
not
she
to.
just, yeah.
But
Oh.
she left. I mean,
I
She
don't
left
mean
at a
this
very
rudely.
strange time
Right.
to leave.
yeah,
I
she
don't
left a
mean this
hole.
rudely. It's a lot harder to be the female wrestler and have the baby and then
Yeah,
take time off and go back to your career than it is for the male wrestler. No disrespect
Oh,
to
absolutely.
dads, but
Right,
it's
right.
a
No, I know what you
totally different dynamic. Like Beth Phoenix is rocking it nowhere, good for her. Like even like before she obviously had this next baby, Lacey Evans was doing it and everything. It's a whole different dynamic for it to be done from the female perspective.
No,
than
listen,
it is from the-
I totally get it, but Becky Lynch is doing it right now too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It can
no,
be
I
done.
get it, but
yeah.
not
so-
all women can do that.
Right, and-
Right.
But it just stinks because like she had such a short career, and yet she's in the Hall of Fame, and people remember her a lot. And she left, and then the women.
But her kids are older now.
Right, but she left, and then the women's division got a lot worse because she wasn't there.
Right.
And we were in the doldrums. There was a point in the 90s, the Attitude Era, mud wrestling, all that shit. Then we got to a point where like Nikki could wrestle, Trish could really wrestle, Lita could really wrestle, Beth Phoenix could really wrestle in like the early to mid 2000s. And then by the time Beth Phoenix left, we were right back to hiring models from the Hawaiian Tropics catalog. Thank you to Johnny Ace. And the quality of wrestling went down again severely until the Divas Revolution. So it was like from like 2009 until about 2014. You had like a bad period there of just crap.
You did not just talk about women and say they had a bad period.
And Tara, yes,
Yeah.
Lacey did have the baby. She had it weeks ago, I believe.
A couple of months ago.
Was it months ago?
15-hour at-home water birth.
Well, there you go. So yeah, she definitely did.
Look at
So-
Vince's face.
There's one
No,
thing.
thank you.
There's
Yeah,
one
I don't
thing-
get that whole deal.
There's one thing that this mixed tag needs.
I've
and
done
that's- And that's Tony Chimmel.
Yes.
Oh,
Tony
that would
Chimmel
be
from the
amazing.
announcing.
Yeah.
That's
Like
a good
when
call.
Beth did that thing at the Hall of Fame for
Yeah, she tried, but no,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah,
So,
Vince, just to make that reaction to your face, 4 births, never an epidural, 1 water.
never an epidural.
Nope.
Jesus Christ.
God bless you.
2 out of the 4
Unbelievable.
on her own too.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
what-
2 out of the 4 on your own as well.
Yeah, including this one. Yeah.
She showed me the stuff from the hospital.
Yeah, the birth
Underwater.
certificates have my name as the ones that delivered them because, yeah, Autumn and Gabby, funny story, didn't get to the hospital.
Oh. So do you have to wear a snorkel, or how does this work?
I'm sorry?
Do you wear a snorkel for the underwater birth? How does that work?
No. It's a hot tub, you deep diddy.
It's hot. You're just
So we
making
have
baby
reached
soup?
the top of the
This
hour.
gets a little gushier after a while.
Is there anything wrestling related that anyone would like to
Oh.
cover before we sign off and take it home? But we're gonna dial it back down to some wrestling.
Everybody needs to check out Dynamite Beach Break. It's another big week.
Yes.
With the TNT title
Yeah.
being defended, and we've got a lights out match between Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole. And usually,
Baby.
when they have a lights out match, some crazy stuff happens. So I'll be keeping an eye out for that. Should be a
Which,
fun
by
show.
the way, shout out to Adam Cole, Britt Baker, Orange Cassidy, and everybody in that mixed tag match last week. Holy
That was
fucking
fun.
shit.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Finally being able to add Britt Baker,
Perfect.
Yep.
and especially because the best friends have Chris Statlander, who can
Mhm.
wrestle, was really good. So both of them having a female performer, they can kind of mix it up like that. Oh, it was great.
And
That
I was
yeah,
live at that damn show when Britt came in with.
Oh,
with
that's right.
Man.
Yeah, you were there for the inaugural
That was man.
DMD Elite.
But if you're gonna have mixed tag matches, this is what they need. They set the bar high for what Ms. Maurice and Edge and Beth got to do this weekend.
Well, we're
sure
gonna,
you know,
it's gonna be very disappointing because there's not much. There's not much that Maurice
When's the
can do.
last time Maurice has wrestled?
Right. And real
Nikki
quick,
Bella? Does
maybe
that
we
count?
should acknowledge the whole Matt Cardona Mick Foley thing.
Yes, because we didn't get to talk about the GCW thing. There was a.
He shed all of his Zack Ryder stuff.
Yep.
He did.
Yeah.
So,
I never thought it'd be possible.
no, he's pretty much not Zack Ryder anymore.
He's got a flannel with "fuck Mick Foley" on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he came
it's
out to
great.
the Hammerstein Ballroom.
And
where
Mick Foley
played.
loved it, which is even cooler.
There was a sign in the crowd that said, "If Cardona wins, we riot."
Yep.
Uh,
Again, Hammerstein Ballroom.
oh, and they didn't. I mean, they. This isn't the only show they've done this to him at, but they pelt him with garbage because he comes out and like him and Chelsea come out and rub it in the people's faces that they were WWE superstars and he had WrestleMania matches and all this shit. So he uses that I'm a former WWE guy to get under people's skin, but he doesn't. He's definitely changed up a lot of what made Matt Cardona into Zack Ryder.
But then they also did the homage to Sandman and Woman because he came out to enter Sandman and Chelsea had the kendo stick just like if she was
came out to
carrying
enter Sandman. And everybody's getting excited thinking it's actually Sandman, and then they cut it off. Oh, it's great. That was fun.
Brilliant.
And they did in the lead up to this. It was Joey Janela against Matt Cardona. Online, they did a parody of Macho Man versus Ric Flair, where Flair photoshopped the pictures of himself.
Elizabeth
She was
pictures,
mine
yep.
before she was yours.
Yes. So Joey cut that whole promo, and then they started showing Photoshop pictures of Joey Janela hanging out with Chelsea instead of Matt Cardona. And like Matt's getting all mad about it. And like finally, either the day before or the day of the pay-per-view, Matt Cardona comes out and says, "See, I can prove they were Photoshopped," and shows the originals and then the Photoshopped ones. Like completely, just entirely redoing that angle, and then paying homage to Sandman and One Night Stand.
And someone came out in a Vince McMahon mask as well.
Virgil came out.
Virgil.
Right. No.
And at the end of the match,
Of course
it was it wasn't Matt Cardona, but it was Brian Myers in the trench coat and the black motorcycle helmet taking the place of Edge with the lights out surprise spear on Joey Janela. Revealed himself to be Brian Myers. Matt Cardona gets the pin. And the Major brothers, Cardona and Myers, stand tall, and Chelsea stand tall in that match. And got absolutely drowned in beer cups and soda cups and popcorn and everything else.
It looked like the Hogan's NWO turn in that ring.
Yeah. It's unbelievable the kind of heat he can get for those men. Just by being, hey, I'm a former WWE guy.
It's amazing.
And I think he took notes from MJF, who is the best heel in the business today.
Amen.
Hey,
we will not disagree there. And on that note, it is top of the hour. Enjoy the Royal Rumble. And Vince, take us home, brother.
Well, that'll do it for this week. If you want to follow along on social media, we are at Tag Me A Date. That's all one word, Tag Me A Date. You can find our Facebook, our Instagram, Twitter, just about damn near everything. Instagram is at Tag Me A Date. Twitch.tv/War Report. That's all one word. Twitch.tv/War Report. If you go to YouTube, you type in Tag Me A Date in the search bar. You'll find our YouTube account. Please hit subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when we go live or when we upload a video. And if you prefer to listen to the podcast rather than watch the live stream on Twitch or watch a live stream on Facebook or YouTube, you can get an audio version on your favorite podcast app, such as Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Play Podcasts. All you have to do is look for either Tag Me A Date or The War Report. If you do look for The War Report, please be aware that there are 2 wrestling podcasts called The War Report. Just make sure that the icon or the image that you see when you're going to subscribe mentions Tag Me a Date. When you subscribe, you will get a audio version of this week's podcast within the hour after we go off the air. So we broadcast live from 6 to 7 on Eastern Time. Sometime between 7 and 8 p.m., you're going to get that MP3 file sent to your phone because you subscribe to our podcast. Or you can just tune in live. We broadcast live on Facebook, Twitch and Periscope, Twitter, I should say Twitter and Periscope, Twitch, and of course Facebook, all through either Tag Me a Date or through twitch.tv/War Report. Pick your poison, and we will be back doing another live version of this podcast. Next week, we will officially be kicking off the road to WrestleMania because we'll be able to review the Royal Rumble and the fallout from the Royal Rumble on Monday Night Raw and come back to you and talk about how maybe we have a clearer idea of what the road to WrestleMania looks like. So please tune in next week. Tell your friends, share with your friends, let them know that you've got a wrestling podcast you really like listening to. We want to see more people get engaged. We have a lot of fun with the comments that come in. We put them up on the screen. We comment. So if you want to come in and engage with us, please come watch the live show. Hop in the comments. Send us a comment when you're watching or send us a question. We'd gladly answer it for you or put it up on the screen and talk about it. And that's about it. Just tune in next week, live on Facebook, live on Twitter and Periscope, or live on Twitch or YouTube for another live edition of the War Report podcast brought to you by Tag Me a Date. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.